from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for April 2023. So on April 11th, we have Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, money, moving out of her place of power in this Taurus energy for Gemini energy. So this is going to be a very noticeable shift for a couple of reasons. First of all, we get to move into air energy, mental plane energy. We get to put ourselves out in the world where we're a little bit more sociable, where we're a little bit more open to exploring, to experimenting, where curiosity is definitely going to push the boundaries in order for us to spice up our lives. Of course, we didn't have that particular chance in this Taurus energy because it's low and slow. It's a fixed earth sign. We were very present, very connected to the physical body. And for many of us, we definitely need a break. We need to move out of this present moment. We need to really start kind of focusing in on our routines, our relationships, our money matters, our physical realm in its entirety to see where it is that we're bored, we're discontent, where it is that we want to shake things up, spice things up, and of course, experiment with our current reality. So Venus being in Gemini energy will likely trigger and activate a lot of topics and themes that many of us struggled to deal with, especially in our personal relationships dating back to May and June of 2020. Of course, that's because Venus not only was in Gemini at that particular time, but she retrograded in Gemini at that time. That is when we had a peak in the misinformation coming at the collective. It is also when we were very divided in our own personal relationships on whether or not we wanted to stay or we wanted to go, and many relationships that were built on a false facade actually fell apart at that particular time frame and calendar. And so there are a lot of flashbacks coming up from that particular point in time. We get to see things from a different perspective, a different point of view. So of course, we want to mix things up in this Gemini energy. Being ruled over by the twins, we are likely jumping from one extreme to the other, one dualistic polarized perspective from the other, in order for us to find a comfy common ground. Of course, Venus, very focused on relationships, both friendships, just general interactions, and of course, romance as well. We are definitely bored. We're recognizing where we're bored. We're recognizing where we want new things, new interests, new topics, new themes. And that's why at this particular time, attraction will come from the mental plane. We want to be with like-minded people. We want to bounce ideas off of other people. We tend to kind of close down that heart space to move into a little bit more playful of energies. Again, fun and flirty and experimental in this Gemini energy. And we are definitely gravitating to new topics and themes, new people, if you will, if they share those common interests as well. So just keep in mind that curiosity did kill the cat. So we do want to kind of pace how much we consider the fact that the grass may be greener on the other side. Most of the time it's not. Your grass would be green if you continue to water and nurture it the way that you should. So if you're finding some boredom, some discontent in your realm, especially in your relationships, maybe instead of kind of venturing over to see what's going on the other side of the fence, you should kind of have tunnel vision, stay in your lane and see where it is that you could spice things up in the realm of your current relationships, your existing relationships, and not just kind of throw it to the side to see what else is out there. Of course, we are going to be a little bit scatterbrained. We jump from one thing to the next. We jump from one interest, one topic, one focus to the next. We are kind of mentally stimulated, but at the same time can't really stick with one thing. And that can be a very dangerous thing in romantic relationships, with Venus kind of testing this experimental waters in Gemini, because we're very charming, we're very flirtatious, we're very playful, and that has a whole lot of sex appeal at this given time. However, if you totally terminate the solid foundations and friendships and relationships that you have been working on and cultivating to throw caution in the wind and see if there's something out there better for you, you may kind of regret those decisions. Why do I say that? Well, because Mercury just entered into its pre-shadow period in Taurus energy. Venus rules over Taurus energy. Mercury rules over Gemini energy. This is a mutual reception, as we call it in astrology, meaning that the rulerships have traded houses, traded signs, traded energies. And of course, with Mercury going retrograde, we're not focused on cultivating anything new. We are looking to refine, to strengthen all of the existing things that we've brought to life. Not to mention that, of course, Venus being in this Gemini energy will take us all the way into retrograde season, all the way through eclipse season. And we really don't want to forcefully make some brand new changes, especially to the relationship dynamics while we're under eclipse energy. That means that we are at the mercy of the universe. The universe will sort us out, put us on the path that we failed to put ourselves. But it is going to be very interesting to see what happens to existing relationships as Venus kind of dips into this Gemini energy once again. Because we want to keep things light and fluffy, of course, we can really miss some very important levels of commitment and intimacy in our current relationship dynamics. We are definitely all over the place with what it is that we're interested in, what it is that we think we want for ourselves, and just know that our mind will change multiple times as Venus moves through this Gemini energy, especially with the retrograde season and the eclipse season coming at us hot and heavy. So, of course, we do have to be very cautious with our thoughts, with our affections, with our connections, with where it is that we're pouring our time and energy into certain elements of our lives, especially relationship dynamics. But we have to be very careful with our words. Why is that? Well, because Gemini energy rules over our words, our communication styles. And Gemini's ruler, Mercury, is going retrograde, which means that our mental intellect is shutting down in order for our heart space and our intuition to lead, which should be an interesting dynamic, seeing as, again, Mercury is in Taurus energy that Venus rules over, and Venus is in Gemini energy that Mercury rules over. So that should be an interesting dynamic, an interesting attempt, if you will, to get our heart and our head on the same page.